Okay, here we go. I'm going to be reading the script for the remotely conducted open meetings. So, as a preliminary matter, this is Ray Pohl, Chairman of the Nantucket Historic District Commission. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. So members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Val Oliver.
I'm here.
Thank you, Val. John McLaughlin.
Here.
Thank you, John. TJ Watterson.
Here.
As a preliminary matter, this is Ray Pohl, Chairman of the. Oh, here we go.
Somebody's
That's
got their
back.
Got.
Oh, there's Abby. Okay, TJ, I got you, or did I?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Stephen Welch.
Here.
Abby Camp.
Here.
Okay, and myself, Ray Pohl, for the record. I believe that's the only members that we have on at this time, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Then moving along, staff, when I call your names, please respond in the affirmative. Kadeem McCarthy.
Here.
Thank you. Holly Bacchus.
Here.
Thank you, Holly. Okay, there aren't any, well, the anticipated speakers will occur, as we all know, when their applications are up for review, and then they will be announced at that time. Good afternoon. This open meeting of the Nantucket Historic District Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020. Due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of COVID-19, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings. And as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely, so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. For this meeting, the Nantucket Historic District Commission is convening via video conference via Zoom app as posted on the town's website identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the meeting. All supporting materials that have been provided to members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. We're now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, I will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking, and please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in a conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. Thank you. Now we can move along to our first order of business. I'm going to assume that all of you have a copy of tonight's agenda. If you don't, we'll figure out how to get you one. Now, for those of you that have participated in this before, our first agenda item is public comment, and the way we deal with this right now is to wait a few moments and pause and let any member of the public that's concerned about anything, post their comments via email, and then we'll read them. Once again, as we all know, public comment is not for deliberation. It's only to hear the comment and then possibly put it on as an other business agenda item. So Kadeem or Holly, who's in charge of fielding the emails right now?
It's actually through YouTube and there's nothing at the moment.
Okay. I'm going to give it another minute. Okay.
I'll take a look.
FYI, Terry is following via YouTube.
Hey, Terry.
Thank you. Hello, Terry.
Terry.
There she is.
Okay. If anything does happen to come in, I suppose we can always return to public comment. Still nothing, right?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
So with that, I think we're going to move right along to our very short consent agenda. And now, as
I
you
need to
can see,
recuse.
you have to recuse, I have to recuse. Abby, would you mind sharing this?
Sure.
Consent, and your board on this will be yourself, John, TJ, and Stephen, okay? Abby?
Do I hear him? What are we doing? The consent?
Consent,
Motion to
yeah.
approve consent.
Thank you. Uh,
Okay,
Do I
Abby,
have-
you need to do a roll call vote. So again, the board that's voting on this is John, TJ, Stephen, and yourself. You just need to do a roll call. for that.
Okay, John?
Yes.
Are you in favor of the consent?
Yes.
TJ?
Yeah, aye. Yes.
Good, and I'm in favor as well.
Don't
And-
forget
And
Stephen.
Steve,
There you go.
Aye.
okay,
Greg,
so the consent passes.
Very good. Thank you.
Greg,
Yes, John.
forgot something on,
Yep.
on the consent number 9. I have to abstain on that.
Oh, okay. So maybe we should take a recount on that vote. So
Okay,
Abby's actually chairing this. So you have 3 members, you have a quorum, and I think you know who they are. So let's just
It's
do it.
family. I just let it pass. Thank you.
Okay.
Can we
So I'll
just-
make a motion to approve consent, noting John McLaughlin has recused.
thank you, Stephen. Do we have to do the roll call again?
Yeah, you do. Just TJ,
Okay.
Stephen, and yourself.
Stephen, are you in favor of the consent?
Aye.
TJ
Aye.
and myself. So that passes.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much, Abby. The next one is Val obviously needs to recuse. This is consent with conditions, both of which are Val's applications. So our board in this case will be Abby, John, TJ, Stephen, and myself. Okay? Anyone care to?
Motion to approve consent with conditions as submitted on the agenda.
Thank you, Stephen. Roll call vote. Abby? Abby?
Yes,
You in favor?
I'm in favor.
Thank you. John?
Yes.
In favor? Okay. Stephen?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. TJ?
Aye.
Aye, great. And Ray Poll in favor of. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Now, we're on to a few new business items. And with this, of course, we need to pull in our applicants. Let's see how we do with this one. So the first one up is Hawthorne Park. Kadeem, do we have anybody on to represent that?
Hawthorne Park. We only have one person in the waiting room, and it's MLW. Not sure who that is.
MLW. MLW.
Admit them and see.
Why don't we pull them up and see who they are?
Yep, I'm adding them now.
Repeat, you're adding someone?
Well, John.
We only had one person in the waiting room.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, that's me. I'm here to represent that application.
Oh, you
Hawthorne?
are.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So,
Oh.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, sorry, MLW, can we get a name for the record?
Sure, Michael Luft Weisberg from Workshop.
Thank you so much. Okay, go ahead, Michael.
Okay. Can I go?
Yeah.
Okay, so this application.
Oh, Michael, are you speaking? If so, we can't hear you.
Yes, I'm speaking now.
All right. Hey, Michael, sorry, I'm going to hold you up just for a second, okay? Because I want to identify your board. All right. So you have 3 regular members. No, actually you have 4 regular members. I forgot about myself. So you have Val Oliver, John McLaughlin, Abby Camp, myself. Those are your regular members. And then I'm going to pull in 1 associate member, and that associate would be Stephen. Okay?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So this application was actually originally submitted as 2 separate applications, one for the dwelling and one for the new cabana building.
Yes.
And because those structures have now been connected through their basement, we needed to resubmit this as one combined application, as one building, this main building plus attached cabana. And that's effectively what this application is. There are very few actual changes to what was approved. I think there was one very small window shift. And of course, the underground portion of the basement, which now connects the 2 buildings, which is not visible from the street. So effectively, it's mostly a procedural resubmission to take 2 applications and recombine them into one.
Okay. So just so that we can be thorough on this, Michael, could you please just show us the very minimal exterior changes that you're proposing, just so we have them?
Sure. If you go ahead to the exterior elevation, for example, in the original approved application of the barn building there in side B elevation west, the shutters used to all be on the left of the building, and now they are left,
Oh.
right, right.
Yeah, okay.
They're not circled.
It's because it's not a revision application. We were advised to just resubmit it as a completely new.
It's a completely new building.
It's a completely new HDC application for a building that had been in front of you before, but because it's now attached to this cabana building, it's a fully new application.
All right. Val, does that make sense to you? Do you know what he's?
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
yeah. I guess.
In sort
I
of a
would just
standard-
circle the connector, but that's just me.
What Michael's saying is the shutters have shifted with respect to a previous application for just the barn, but now that it's a combined thing, the barn is theoretically a new piece, but we approved it when it was separately unconnected, with the shutters all being on the left-hand side, and now they're symmetrical.
Correct. Otherwise, these buildings are the same as when they were approved as separate structures.
So,
Was that it, Michael?
Can you repeat that?
Was that it in terms of changes?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay,
point of information, Mr. Chair.
please go.
So, I mean, my understanding is typically even if the building is connected to a garage, we review them, we may review them side by side, but as separate applications. So I'm just wondering, just to have asked, why is this one different?
Can I opine on that?
Please.
Yeah.
We've done a lot historically. My office has done a lot of these buildings that are, attached with underground connectors. So it doesn't really come up as an HDC thing because they're not connected. But it was always a question in my mind, if it's physically connected, then the building department theoretically is supposed to be looking at that as one building.
Mm-hmm.
Not
That's
2,
exact-
1, because it's all physically connected. And there are some code things that relate to that. But they were always, kind of loose about that whole thing. And, 2 applications, 1 application, it didn't really matter. But it sounds like maybe somebody at the building department is now saying, okay, if it's all connected together, it has to be 1 application. And so Michael has to come back, and rather than have the 2 applications, separate applications, that he had before that we approved. He now has to have one that's a hybrid of both of those.
Correct. They want one certificate of appropriateness
Yeah.
per building permit.
I kind of get it. And
Yeah.
it's taken a long time for them to get a cohesive
Yeah,
policy.
per structure, they want one COA.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, folks, do we have any questions from any of my board members on this application?
Yes,
Yes, John.
yeah, my question, can you go back to the map?
This, John, or this map here?
They're right there. See that
Okay.
corner where it's marked out? Up in the left corner, there's a house marked out right there.
Yes.
Just the one we're talking about, I was out there today. But there's no house there. So on this piece of paper here, what number, is that on Hummock Pond Road?
Yes.
It's on Hawthorne Lane, actually.
Or Hawthorne, yeah.
Yeah. It's the last lot on this development on Hawthorne Lane.
Where is the lot?
It's lot 65, and it's immediately adjacent to the little service road that was installed for Hawthorne Park for this development.
In other words, that house in the top left corner hasn't been built yet. It's a blank piece of land.
Correct. It hasn't been built yet.
It hasn't
Now,
been-
since I went in there, you go in Hinckley Lane, Hawthorne Lane. Then I look for the numbers on the houses, and they got lot numbers, but you don't have house numbers. It's
Not
just
yet.
a problem, that I couldn't find it, but you can now drive up there and drive right out back on the Hummock Pond Road, so that's good.
Right. So, John, the house and barn are not built yet, but in order for Michael to apply to the building department, because they're connected underground,
Right.
what we're doing is we're approving again a house and a barn that we already approved. We're just approving it again,
Correct.
but as one item as opposed to two separate items because they're connected underground.
Yeah, and the hardscaping and pool and everything else on this property has also already been approved by the HDC.
Right.
So we're really just procedurally resubmitting the barn and attached cabana to be approved as one structure.
Right.
Right?
Yes, John.
Right, if you go look at this house on the lot, is that a garage or what is that next door on the same lot?
What we're looking at right now, John?
Right, yeah, on the left.
Okay, so the small thing on the left-hand side, that rectangle is the quote-unquote barn. Oh, no, I'm sorry, cabana.
That's the cabana.
Cabana and the dwelling barn is yeah, whoever's doing that circling is doing a good job. Yeah.
Thanks, Kadeem.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
This is relatively simple. It's really about the shutters, I believe.
That's the only physical change that we will see from any public way. Definitely.
Well, that's not quite true. You can see everything.
No.
No, but I mean this application.
Yeah, for this application, yes.
And I have some comments that are substantive.
Sorry, Stephen, you have comments?
Yeah, if I may,
Yeah, go.
I don't know what was approved previously, and this came up in our discussion about checklists. But it's kind of difficult to determine scale without digitally without a representative gauge, so a scale gauge. So for instance, a 6 foot tall gray bar that's 1 foot wide adjacent to each elevation. And the reason I mention that, and I'm not necessarily against this, but it's hard to gauge. This is an 8 foot door as I'm reading the schedule.
Right.
That's correct.
The front door is 8 feet tall. The window A's are 6 feet tall.
Right.
The 0-1, this is the north elevation I'm looking at, is also, that's 8 feet tall.
The window and door head height on the first floor of the barn building is 8 feet. That's correct.
So it's difficult for me to, and especially not seeing the previous approval,
Mhm.
to know that I'm not suggesting that it's being misrepresented, but I don't know. So out of the gate, I'm looking at an 8-foot tall door on what would be a typical Nantucket, quote unquote, Nantucket style design. And in a somewhat rural area, and I'm having a little bit difficulty with that. I don't have an issue with the appropriateness of the relative scales, but the relative scales isn't what we're going to see, isn't the only thing we'll see when we're out in the real world. We'll also see the scale of the door and the windows relative to the surroundings, which may make these very large. So I'd
There
like
is
to make that
a
comment.
figure there in the breezeway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not 6
He
feet
looks
tall.
like
I
a
don't-
midget.
Yeah,
Well, he's also down below the first floor level, a
Mhm.
full foot below. Can I just say one thing about this building in relation to the rest of the development?
Yeah.
So aside from this building having been approved individually by the HDC previously, this model building, which is being built in various mirrored configurations 4 times in this development, has now been built a full 2 times here. And you could obviously view it or see it, but also the intent of this development was that that home is repeated the 4 times that it was approved. And this is just another one of those approved models.
Mhm.
And so, we went back and forth. I don't remember how many rounds with the HDC originally, and we sort of settled on this final design. The only change here really is the addition of the cabana building and the mirroring of those shutters on one side of the building.
so Michael, just to confirm those through you, Mr. Chair, those doors are 8 feet tall as previously approved,
Correct.
and the windows, the A windows are 6 feet tall as previously approved?
Correct.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
No problem.
Val, thank you, Stephen. Val.
It's just a comment.
Yep,
We
go.
approved some of the anomalies on these buildings and with this building in particular, the rear elevation with the big, huge glass wall that's covered by shutters, because we were told there would be no visibility based on the vegetation that was in the area at the time. And now there's no vegetation. So, the anomalies can be seen. That's all I want to say for the record.
I agree with that. Maybe not no visibility, but heavily screened.
Wide open.
Well, I think the takeaway from that is once this is all done and C of Os start being requested,
Yep.
We can refer back to the screening that was proposed and how effectively I don't believe the landscape package is anywhere near complete, right, Michael?
That's correct. They've basically barely started the screening on a majority of this property.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the hope is that we're going to get a lot more vegetation in there to soften all that.
Correct.
Okay, thank you, Val. Anyone else comment on this? Okay, what would we like to do with this, folks?
I think I would motion to approve it based on, we're just really ratifying it for the underground connection and some slight shift of the shutters.
I think that's accurate.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, so that is your motion, correct, Val?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, so now I'm going to poll my board. Abby?
I'm in favor of Val's motion to
Thank you.
approve.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Stephen?
I would offer a friendly modification that the screening would be as shown in the site plan submitted with the application.
You mean just to underscore that?
Yes, please.
So.
I amend my motion.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Diane, we can hear you. But hang on 1 second. We're going to get back to you. We're just taking a vote right now on the first application, okay?
Yeah, I've been watching you. I mean, since it started.
Oh, we weren't hearing you, but so I'll announce you in a second. So,
Sure.
okay, so Val,
Mm-hmm.
did you just update your motion to include Stephen's language about the vegetation?
Yes.
Okay, so Abby, how do you feel about the modified motion?
I love it.
All right, great. Val, how do you feel about your modified motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Stephen?
Aye.
Great. John?
Aye.
Very
Okay.
good. And the chair is in favor, so that motion carries.
Great.
Thank you all. Nice seeing you, Michael.
Yep. Thank you, Ray. Bye, everybody.
Home now. You probably already are home. Just occurred to me. Okay, so if we need to, let's let the record reflect that Diane Coombs has just joined us, or at least she's just the audio portion of Diane has just joined us. So welcome, Diane.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now do we have a visual on you? We do not. So you might want to just hit your join by video, whatever that says.
I did that, and that's how I finally got the volume up. I don't know.
Oh,
I just
well,
need more help, I guess, because
yeah, so just so you know, Diane, we're not seeing the video of you. It's not critical to you voting or anything on the application.
it says start my video. So shall I push that?
Yeah, you should. Yes. There you are. Okay. Diane has joined us audio and video. Okay, so now we're on to the next new business application, which we now have three, all three for Canterbury. Now I saw Mirka up on the queue. Did we pull her in?
Yep, she's in.
I'm here.
Okay, Mirka?
Hi there. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yep.
There you go. Yep, you're on.
Nice to see you.
Okay, so we now have all 5 members of the regular board. So the regular board is going to be hearing your applications, Mirka. And why don't we start with 2 Westerwick Drive, okay?
Great. Okay. I only can, if I can ask quickly, sorry, Michael Luftweisberg, if it's okay, he can join too because he was part of the initial approval. So just in case if there are some questions, he
Yeah,
might be
okay.
able to just call.
So Kadeem, can we pull Michael back in?
I'm still here.
Yeah,
I'm
I
still
don't have
here,
him
so
in
I
the
can
waiting
just-
room. He's there.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect. So I just told him to be on standby if possible. So again, nice to see you all. Thank you for letting me to present. And I apologize for last week. I just didn't expect it would go later and I just had to go. So thank you for letting me to come back. So this first submission for 2 Westerwick, it's revision to initially approved pool. The pool was approved in that last year or a year ago effort when the zoning and planning board was going through that crisis of the pools. So would you allow me to do just get the pool approval done, but not the landscape or hardscape around? So initial approval just granted the pool, but not the rest of the landscape. So this is revision to the pool, which I rotated. Oh, Kadim, you, okay. So this is the initial approval dated to 2019, January 2019. So you only approved the pool with automatic pool cover here, nothing else. Everything else was per further approval. So today I'm here to finish the application.
Mirka, I'm sorry. I'm gonna pause you just for a second because I'm slightly confused.
Okay.
Your application is for Canterbury, right?
Yes.
This is what we're reviewing now, Canterbury.
Yes.
Okay, because on my agenda,
I have 2 Westerwick.
it says 2 Westerwick.
If you go,
Westerwick Drive.
yeah, the Canterbury kind of stopped with the cul-de-sac, and then I guess the branch out. It's the address for legal address for this lot
Can I clarify that we're referring to the whole development here as Cannonberry Lane, and some of the addresses are on Westerwick and some of them are on some of these other side streets. This specific lot is on Westerwick.
Okay,
Ray, I think you're thinking Westerwick Way, which is in Cisco.
that's exactly
This
what
is
I was thinking.
Westerwick Drive.
Wondering where on earth it is. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. So,
So this is the, what you see right now, that's the original approval just for the pool in January 2019. So now I am in addition, if we go to the next page, is the hardscape including with the pool. The change, it's the same pool, I just rotated the pool. The red line is outlining the approved pool, but the rest of the submission is practically applying for the rest of the hardscape, which includes the board deck, lounge deck at grade around the pool, 2 small bluestone patios, small boardwalk at the entry from the parking to the house, which was kind of feature for the other house too, and the Belgian block apron. This was the same spirit which was approved with the house on the other side of the Cannonberry. We had 2 houses done so far, so it's the same style as the house before, so it's matching.
okay. Kadeem, are there any more drawings, or are we basically looking at it?
Let's see. I'm scrolling down and it's not moving.
That's it. If you Kadeem,
Okay.
you don't mind to zoom out a little bit, so it's
Yeah,
maybe
that's a good
better.
idea. So
Yep,
we're
I'm happy
just
to.
Boardwalk. See the boardwalk, we see the Belgian block, bluestone patio, okay. Okay. Who would like to begin?
I will.
Thank you, Val.
I think it's appropriate.
Okay, short and sweet, like it. Abby, where are you on this?
I think it's okay.
Okay, just okay?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I'll take it. John, I can't see you there, but can you hear me?
I'm here.
Okay, so what do you think of this landscape application?
We're on number 2, Canterbury, right?
We're on number 2, correct, John?
Westerwood,
Correct.
right? This is Westwood. This drawing. Am I correct or am I wrong?
I'm sorry, what did you say, John?
We're on number 2, which is Westwood.
We are on number 2. Yes,
Hardscape.
yes. So hopefully, John, you can see the drawing on your screen right now that shows that Mirka had already gotten a pool approved here, but now she's coming back and she's doing a few things. One is she turned the pool 90 degrees. You can see that, and then you can also see the other things, the landscape elements that she's added, like the Belgian block apron, the parking area, the boardwalk, the fire pit, the deck, etc. So all those things are new to this application.
Where's the fire pit? Sorry.
Way up the top, all by itself.
Oh,
You see it?
yep.
Okay. So John, any comments about this, questions?
Another question I have, I'm using the mouse and I can't, it's so small, you can't read any of
Well,
this.
hey, John, your mouse is not going to help you at all. Kadeem has to be the one who enlarges it, but he'll enlarge it for you.
I just zoomed in, John. Let me know if you need more.
No, it's fine. I just, when they come up, they're so small.
Okay, well, we'll blow them up if you want. We can
Okay.
enlarge them.
I'm just asking questions because I find myself having a little problem reading it.
Yeah.
I can't move it with my mouse.
He
Yeah.
could have looked at it earlier.
We'll read, add notes. There's nothing up top, says,
Okay.
no, nothing I can, okay. I just couldn't find it, and I don't know how to maneuver that around. Okay,
If you need to maneuver anything, we'll just let Kadeem know and he can do it for you. So are you okay, John?
yeah, actually,
All
I
right.
see now, future Cabana, okay.
All right. So thank you. I want to hear from Diane now.
Thank you.
I think it's a good position. I think looking at the piece of land, it looks good. My only thought, and you probably can't get an answer to it now, are there going to be, every house have a pool?
Not guarantee that every house will have the pool. The house we did, the house number 1, we did initially does not have a pool. It will be per the owner, but they can have the pools. There is no, this development does not have a community pool or community area.
Oh, I thought they did.
No, they have a, that would be the next submission, which is community, like a house with the gardens, but not the pool.
Which number is that?
Interesting.
Number 1?
I'm sorry, this is house number 2, which we are developing right now.
Yeah, I know that. It's just the way the land is set up, that if every house had a pool, it seems a little large, but this pool, I think, is suitably placed, so I'm for it.
Okay. Thank you, Diane. And I'm fine with it too. So I think we can move forward. So I got everyone, I'm pretty sure. Yes, I did. Okay. Can somebody,
Make a motion to approve.
thank you, Diane. Okay, I'm going to roll call on Diane's motion to approve this as submitted. How about you, Abby?
I was good with it, remember?
Yeah. Oh, whoa. Yes, I know, but I just need to make it official. So that
Oh.
was a yay vote.
That's a
Okay?
yay.
Right. Okay. Val,
Aye.
thank you. John? John, are you in favor of?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you, John. Diane,
Yes,
in favor of your own motion, I'm sure, and the chair is in favor of as well. So that motion carries unanimously. Thank you. And now we're gonna, same board will move right on along to the next application, which is at 42 Cannonberry. Okay? And Mirka, you have the mic. Tell us what you're doing and we'll let you know.
Thank you. So going back, when we talk about the community amenity areas, this is going to be the development kind of meeting place, which is more intended to be as a gardens. So there's no pool. So the amenity building, which is already in construction process, has little open space as a studio for like yoga and gathering. The addition, what I am adding as the landscape, is the parking area with the boardwalk coming through the gardens, which will be enclosed and fenced with the wire fence in the vegetation wrapped in a privet. The small vegetable gardens would be just small. You will see that you see the details. It's just small little wooden trims, boxes, 6 inches above the ground, which will have, some of them will have a trellises for the climbers to be attached to. As a hardscape, we are using again Belgian blocks, boardwalks, natural cedar, and bluestone pavers.
Thank you. Hey, John,
yes.
would you like Kadeem to blow this up? Can you read all this stuff on the screen right now?
I've read it. I have no problem with it. The only thing is it says wood fence,
Correct.
not to weather.
Yes.
Is it picket or is it stockade.
Can you scroll over? I think I saw a picture of the fence over to the left.
Yep, let's see.
Yeah, I have one
Okay,
side.
so, yeah, Kadeem, if you can zoom in on that detail number 4 right there, I think that's it.
It looks like a lattice.
Oh, I got it.
Well, let's see.
Thank you.
That's the mesh, I think.
Yeah.
Wire
The
mesh.
rabbits out.
So just to clarify, so this small section within the privet supposed to again represent more the trellis idea and design, so we can grow the plants on it and attach, just to protect everything what is in the garden would have little wire mesh on it, so we can keep bunnies out of the
Right.
garden.
Right.
But the idea is to have this not as a fence, but as a trellis for the roses and any climbers to be attached to.
Okay. Okay, John?
Yeah, the only question I had, looking at the plan, there's a 6-foot board fence just before you get to the house. I can't move the screen to see it.
John, just tell me where you want me to go.
But right here. Can you see my arrow moving?
Absolutely not.
All right, when you go in on the left, the first thing, the long thing's blue. It says 6-foot wood trellis. Oh, it's a trellis.
Yeah.
Kadim, that would be the trellis,
You want me
right?
to do you want me to zoom in on that? Okay, let's see.
All right. So conveniently, the site plan and the actual trellis detail are really close to each other. So the trellis detail is right above all those blue letters. It's number 5.
Okay.
So it's an open, natural to weather trellis. It's not actually a fence.
Where's number 5?
See the blue letters, John? Look
Right.
above the blue letters and you'll see something that looks like a fence, but it's actually trellis. It's labeled with the number 5.
Oh, I see, a wood trellis section, okay. Thank you.
Correct.
I see it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're good? Okay, Val.
Mirka, is the fence inside the privet? Because it's an atypical fence
So
with the horizontal, so many slats.
So, Kadim, if you can zoom out a little bit so we can see overall garden, so I can hopefully navigate us. So the wire mesh would be one as a periphery integrated in the privet. So we will not see wire. Then you can see 2 portions which are little angled, which are, I would just say on my screen on the left side, and you see that staggered.
Yeah.
So those staggered 2 portions are the trellisy design kind of fence, the number 4, which is supposed to be as a short trellis covered with the climbing roses. And then, so that's only two locations where this portion of this fence is exposed. And then the 6-foot trellis is actually will be part of the planting beds inside of the garden. That's where, if you see those bigger squares, which is like a 2 lines cutting across, those would be the freestanding trellises for the garden inside.
Okay, and what's number 2 fence?
Number 2 fence is, I'm sorry, I don't know which one I'm looking at right now.
Let's see, it says, there you go. Thank you.
Or number 1, sorry, it goes from 1 to 3.
I see. So number 1 is the wire mesh, which kind of will be hidden in the vegetation, the entire periphery. And then number 4 is those 2 diagonal section exposed coming out of the privet, which will supposed to create those little peekaboo to the garden. So people who walk by can see the gardens as well. Plus, we would like to grow the climbing on this portion of the fence. Why I use the wire mesh behind is just to protect us from bunnies and.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Val. Abby.
Well, there's a couple of things are running through my brain. but ultimately, I'm wondering if the 6 inches apart is giving a very strong horizontal message, which leads me to think, you know, I love this project. I think it's great. It's like a communal garden. But you know, sometimes you see these communal gardens and they're not kept up. So it's a very good chance that maybe they'd start with good intention, but then we'd be left with just these structures all over the place. So I'm just wondering if the 6 inch, if we could make that a little wider, if it wouldn't be so prominent, but I'm open to the other board members to see what they think.
Just so I'm clear on what you're saying, Abby, the 6 inch space is on the trellis, right?
On the number 5,
Which is the trellis.
No, it's the fence, the wood
number
fence.
4.
Oh, well, okay, number 4 is the fence, yes.
Okay, and then the wood trellis section is, how many inches apart are those?
It says 6 inches on center, so you're correct.
Oh, okay. So on both?
Yes,
Okay.
both of them have members are 6 inches on center.
So I'm just wondering what other people think. I mean, could they spread them out? They might not be so strong a statement.
I concur with that.
I do
So,
too.
thank you, Diane. And while so we could maybe go to 8 inches or something like that, but Diane, do you have any additional comment? Hold on.
No, I think,
Abby,
I
was
think
that your only issue? 1 second.
Yeah, that's my only issue. I'm just worried that, you know, I think they're starting with good intentions, but I'm just worried about, you know, what if we're stuck with these things with no beautiful flowers on them and we just have these structures around.
Yeah,
Um,
that you want it to be a little bit less.
Yeah.
heavy looking.
More conventional.
Right. Thank you, Abby. Okay, so now Diane, you shared Abby's concern about the spacing.
what I would perhaps suggest is that to begin with, not to have so many and to have it a little sparser in there. That's very busy. Having been a member of the community gardens, I know sort of what can happen sometimes. Tends to get a lousy winter or a cold, snowy spring. And with the availability of putting others in when needed, instead of taking the whole space up at one time.
Mhm. So how about an 8 inch space rather than the 6 inches?
Yes, that's more like a trellis, is having 8 or 9, 10, so that the vines can go up at those are too closely put together to have vines or tree roses or climbing roses go up.
Thank you, Diane. I see Mirka waving her hand. Yes, Mirka.
Thank you. No, I agree. And I can literally like skip every another one to create spacing of 12 inches apart, which would create 10
12 inches.
That'd
12
be
inches.
awesome.
Yeah, no, that's no issue at all. It still will be
Okay.
pretty solid trellis.
All right, great. With that, are there any other concerns with this application?
Yes,
Can I just add to my thing? Sorry, John.
John, I'll get right to you. Let me hear what Abby has to say.
I
first.
just, the other thing was, these are just samples of them, and where they are on the site plan. I'm wondering if also a few verticals could be thrown in to also offset the horizontalness.
Well, they may actually need that because, you know, those, Abby, if you can imagine those slats spanning that distance with heavy vegetation growing on, they're going to tend to bow. And so you kind of want to have a vertical that would hold it together. So I hear you on that one. John, what were you going to say?
I make a motion to approve it with comments.
Okay, so so far we have 2 comments, John.
Okay.
One is rather than, and one of you, if you disagree with what my take on this is, please let me know. One is that rather than have it 6 inches on center, the balusters, they will be 12 inches on center. That's item number one. Item number two is that you can introduce some vertical elements to that, which would be an aesthetic thing to break up the horizontality, but I think would also be a practical thing to keep those horizontal members from sagging when they have vegetation growing on them. Now, Mirka, are you okay with that sort of, you are?
Yes.
Okay. So sounds like the applicant is okay with the proposed changes. So I think John has made a motion that is to approve that with the 2 comments that I just noted. Now I'm going to do a roll call. Val,
Aye,
thank
with
you.
the comments.
Yes. Diane,
I with the comments.
thank you. Abby,
Aye with the comments.
very good. John,
Aye.
thank you. And the chair is in favor. So that motion carries.
May I ask a quick question?
Yeah, go.
Just the practicality, since now we are in this new way of doing stuff, would you like me to resubmit this with the revisions, or this is just per comments?
No.
This is for staff review.
Okay, so for the staff review,
To the staff, it's approved. We don't need to see it again.
okay,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
thank you.
very good. Now, Mirka, you have one more, and then we're going to let you go.
Thank you. Okay. So this is, Michael, is Michael still available?
Yeah, I'm here.
Would you mind to maybe help me to
Explain the overall concept here.
introduce this part, because this is a little bigger scale.
Sure. So, in short, the redevelopment of Canonberry Lane involves a major investment in the landscaping on the very long, rather plain straightaway that is Canonberry Lane. So they're gonna landscape. They have already landscaped these sort of dunes ranging from, I don't know, 2 to 5 feet, planted with beach grass all along the length of Canonberry Lane. And we're going to install a boardwalk walking path that sort of meanders from the beginning of the road all the way to the end, so that all of the new homes on this in this development are connected by this dunescape and boardwalk landscape to create this sort of connection back from these homes to the beach to encourage people to walk to and from. That's the sort of big picture.
Okay.
And I'm happy to follow up with the details. Because it's a streetscape, I just want you to see the bigger picture, why, how the idea happened. So, and when we go back to the material, you see 2 colors. So as Michael suggests, and I don't know if you've been drive by, there is a portion of the dunes and sides are already established and planted with the beach grasses. We would like to now, moving forward, add the boardwalk, which we've been asked to get the approval by your board. What we would like to do is, as Michael suggested, we are having meander of the boardwalk and the crossings through the road to kind of make this really exciting experience going through the this development. The blue represent the Belgian blocks cut into the pavement, which at the same time would create little speed bumps, like, keep the car going slower, like kind of like a speed bumps too. And then the purple or magenta is the blocks which are set in dunes.
Yeah, just the only note I wanted to add is that the Belgian block crossings are definitely intended to make the street more pedestrian friendly. Right now it's, I don't know how many thousands of feet, but it's like 4,000 feet of straight asphalt and people drive very quickly down it. And so part of the scheme here is to sort of break up that long extent of pavement with these crossings of Belgian block. They act as rumble strips and they help people safely cross. So somebody slows down.
Okay.
How thick are the Belgian block pads? how many blocks are there?
Abby,
One row or is it doubled?
so we will be using the jumbo, the bigger scale, which are the size of, I believe so, like 8 inches wide and 12 to.
Oh, good to
I
know.
would like to just have a 3 line of these Belgian blocks next to each other. So in overall, it will be practically the strips won't be wider than 3 feet. Just
Yep.
enough for one pedestrian to go through it.
Is
Right.
there a picture on this? Of it?
They might be picture, but since I haven't done the, yeah, so this is the idea, but this is, that's the Belgian block in the pavement, as you can see on the picture number 2. Again, we would just do 3 to 4 strips, not as wide as this apron is showing.
And the blocks are much bigger, like,
This is already the bunch. This is the scale of the bigger blocks. These are the jumbo, which are a little bit bigger than regular Belgian block. Regular Belgian blocks are like 4 by 8. The bigger ones are more like 8 by 12.
okay.
So Val, that strip that we're talking about would be anywhere from 24, well, if it's 3 wide, which I believe is what Mirka said.
Okay.
Be anywhere from 24, which you just imagine 3 of those rows, that's rather narrow, or 4 of them, which would make it 32 inches wide. That's the real width of the thing that they're talking about. the
Okay.
wall.
So,
Okay.
what was 24 inches wide?
24 to 36. I would like to do 3 rows with a little bigger spacing. I just want to make sure it's comfortable one person. So it's visible enough for the cars to see it, but not overwhelming. But it's safe to walk on, like one person can easily get across on it. So up to 36, not wider than 36 inches.
Okay, thank you, Mirka. Now tell us a little bit about the boardwalk portion of this.
The boardwalk, same would be 3 feet, I believe, so 3 feet wide boardwalks, which will be set in dunes. As you can see, this is the picture you have it on a screen of the dunes in progress. So those boardwalk will kind of go beyond the dunes and just meander through it a little bit more. We are trying to actually develop this design. It's a little bit alternate since I submit this. We might, and Michael correct me, we were inclining go actually more to the same 3 boards set in a long way, instead doing it regular boardwalk, just to make it really more rural and make it less formal. And I just noticed that this picture doesn't really suggest what we are trying to do here.
No.
I think the other important thing to say about the boardwalk is that except where it turns and connects to the street, it'll always be basically built into and sunken into the dunes. So you really won't see that boardwalk ever as you walk or drive by this landscape. When it's
Will
set
it
back
have
from the road, it's always going to be within the
The
dune.
rail with the rope?
No,
No.
No railings.
Okay, so I think you need to correct that so we have something that is what it's actually going to look like.
It's
absolutely.
going to look
Through
very
staff.
different than that picture. It's
Yeah,
going to be basically 3 boards vertical, lengthwise, so really narrow. It's not going to turn because you can't really turn vertical boards or lengthwise boards like that. So yeah, I think it would be good to see a different type of photo, Mirka.
absolutely. I will update it. And I again, from March to May, it's just a little involved. So I'm happy to resubmit with an updated picture.
Okay. Okay, so let's see, Abby, any comments on this one?
Yeah, I have a suggestion along these lines. It's very creative, but I don't want it to look fudgy. It could border, this could really work, but if it doesn't, it's going to look, a little Disneylandish, and I'm just worried about that. So I think if you're going to do the dune cut into the 5-foot setback, whatever, I think it should be it shouldn't just be a thin strip. It should really be a dune, you know, with the grasses, and it should be a pretty big chunk to make this a statement and not make it look like it's just you know, just it's like a thin idea. The other thing is that the asphalt itself, I think it should be not just hot tar poured and rolled. It should have some texture to it as well to keep it from being a big black ribbon if you're going this sort of naturalistic way.
Hey, Abby and Mirka, please correct me if I'm wrong, but picture number 4 is the street.
Yes, that's correct.
And what they're going to do is they're just going to cut this Belgian block into that street that you already are looking at there.
It's a
Which
relatively
has a little
recent
bit of
one.
weathering to it already.
Yeah. And to Abby's point, I exactly was working with your concerns. So what the development is trying to establish is the landscape easements. So if Kadim, if you don't mind to go back to the site plan, everywhere where the boardwalk, this landscape area cuts to the front of the properties, which would be on the upper part, north part of the street, I would say, or if we face to the cul-de-sac, it would be the left side. Where I had more space, I worked on the 15 to 20 feet. So those dunes have exactly that feel. And Abby, I'm happy to drive by with you there. Or if you go, you can already sense the amount and height of the dunes. They are to 90% all formed. So you can already even see how these boardwalks are going to be cut through. So it's all like really pre-done to just lay the boardwalk. On the properties where we don't have a front, but we do have a side, we try to keep it in the 5 feet of the easement. So that's why it sometimes feels a little bit narrower on the right side of the Canonbury, and it definitely has more volume on the left side of Canonbury if coming off the low beach. So
A question about my idea of the surface of the tar. Are the driveway cuts already made with the circles?
the cul-de-sacs, yes, the cul-de-sac.
That's already existing. Okay. Maybe I need to go down there and take a look.
And Abby, I'm happy to drive by just in my car.
Okay.
To meet
Sounds
you
fun.
in a whatever safety way to just walk us through it. If happy to join you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Diane,
Well, Abby saying she should take a look at it. I think it might be, with all this stuff, it might be a good idea to see where it's going to go and stuff. I think it's a lot of
it's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a, visually speaking, it's a fairly large project because it basically snakes around the road, you know, it's gonna
Right.
be there the whole length of that road. Yeah.
and everything. All the cul-de-sacs are the same. I would think it might be a good idea to go out and take a look at it as projected on these plans. It just seems a kind of multiple decisions that have to be made that might be a way of making it them not copy each other. I think it's got too much the sameness in each one.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Very good point, Diane. So it sounded like we probably want to view this. I do, was that it, Diane?
Yeah,
You-
I'd like to see how it sets up before I
Mhm.
approve 3 cul-de-sacs and another one that's very much like it all on the same side out in Wisconsin, which is really does not have this heavy a development, or I thought it wasn't going to have such a heavy development. This is pretty big.
Mirka, you're waving your hand.
If Kadim don't mind to zoom to aerial map, And of course, it's always helpful to go see, but I just want to just point out those cul-de-sac being already constructed.
Yeah, they've been there for a while.
Yeah,
It's like the 80s.
yeah, it's been constructed and we don't even go towards the cul-de-sacs. Besides, we are changing the circles inside of each of them, just landscaping it. Right now, they were all flat and just hydro-seeded. So we are bringing a little bit of the landform and planting it with the bayberries and bring more natural vegetation to the inside circles of the cul-de-sacs. But we are not really changing anything. The pavement is already done. We are just cutting those walkways or the speed bumps to say through. And then in the last cul-de-sac, which is nicely see on our map, we are kind of, we cut out that middle part. We cut out and just joined as a one big island, which again, we brought fill and we create these beautiful dunes, which are going to be planted, or which are actually planted already with the beach grass.
Mhm. Okay, thanks for the clarification, Mirka.
And I'm happy to meet you there if you would like to set up the time with me and drive this contemporary with you guys all to walk you through it.
Thank you. I believe we haven't heard from John on this application yet. It's sounding like we want to do a viewing, but John, are you there?
Yes,
Do you have anything that you'd like to say on this application, knowing that we're probably going to view this anyway?
yeah, I still do have a quick comment.
Go ahead.
Years back when they first started to, the guy bought this land to subdivide it. Nobody actually thought about zoning and houses like the town should be. And there's over 50 lots in this property. That's going to be in 100 houses in a small area down there next to the Coast Guard station. That is, when it's finished, you know, you still got all these sewer problems and water problems. Somebody's not looking into this deep enough. That's my comment. I'm talking about
Okay.
other public officials. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks. That's a lot of houses. Okay, so I think that it sounds like the chair is certainly in favor of the idea of giving this a little bit more scrutiny and going out and taking a look at it. So maybe somebody could.
I'll make a motion for a view.
Thank you. And Mirka has volunteered to if you want to have like a guided tour, I think she'd be happy to do so. So the motion on the table is for a view. I'm going to poll the board. Diane,
Yes, I'm in favor of it.
thank you. Abby,
Yes.
thank you. John,
Yes, I'm in favor of viewing.
that's what we got, viewing. Val,
Yeah,
okay,
good.
chair's in favor. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, everyone. Mirka, nice seeing you. And we'll talk to you soon next time we're up. Okay? All right, thanks. Okay, next application is for 63 Westchester Street. We were holding this for some representation last time. Maybe do we have Dennis on the line?
I just accepted everyone that was waiting because I'm not certain who's representing this. I'm happy to put him back in the waiting room after.
A guy named Dennis Galvin, and he, I forget what Kathy told me. He wasn't noticed or something like that. He didn't know the meeting was taking place. And let's see, who was the one who noted that it was a photograph of the wrong house? Yes, Val. So just to be clear on this, he was taking a picture of the fence that he's proposing, and it happened to be in front of that house. That was what,
the photo he provided was a house with a split rail. And then he provided two other pictures of very formal houses with white picket. And I went there today and took pictures, and the whole little division has houses that are natural to weather and the picket fences are natural to weather. So I think we could pass this, but not as a white fence. And if I can figure out how to get the picture on there for you guys, I would do that.
There we are. Well, okay, so we have a picture of a white picket fence right now.
And that's what he's applying for, but this little development has natural to weather picket all around it, and the buildings are natural to weather. So I think white would be inappropriate.
Okay.
Could we go back to where it is on Westchester? I got lost. The site plan, please.
This right here, or yeah, this right.
Yeah, so Westchester and Brooks Farm Road.
So it's Westchester toward, Crooked Lane.
Yeah. Do we have a locus?
Yeah.
I think the first one's probably a locus plan.
There we go. Could you leave that there for a second?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, so if you can get your bearings fairly easily. If you look over on the right-hand side of that, you'll see New Lane coming in. So if you came in on New Lane, hit Westchester, you're making a left, heading out towards Crooked Lane. I don't think Crooked Lane shows up on this.
It's before Pilgrim,
It's
between
before
Pilgrim
Pilgrim.
and Brook.
Hey, so question, Val, for you, because it seems like you've done your homework on this one.
I'm trying to figure out how to get the picture.
What color trim is the house itself?
All of the houses are natural to weather, and this is a
Including-
very prominent house with another house across from it as the entrance. They have the curved in picket fence on one side, and
Yep.
it is appropriate for a picket fence. It just should not be painted.
Okay.
And if
So
I
this
can
is like-
figure out how to get you the picture, I will.
Well,
Val, you can email it to me.
Okay, well, I've got to go to the other computer. Keep talking.
if I understood Val correctly just a second ago, the house that this fence is bordering is also natural trim.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So it only stands to reason that it should be a natural trim fence. I mean, anything else would look really kind of bad. Very bad.
Yes.
So I'm going to go around and poll the board because Val, personally, I think that's a really good idea. And, if he has some kind of claim he wants to make on it, he can always come back and revisit this. But, for now, I think that the natural fence is more appropriate. Diane, what's your view on this?
I think it should be natural. That is not a high, place where we have all white trim, all that stuff. It's
Yeah.
going into the farm and going down Westchester. So I would certainly say it should be natural to weather.
Great. Thank you. Abby?
I agree with Diane and you yourself there, that if the area and the neighborhood is natural to weather, then the fence should be as well.
Great. Thank you. John, are you there?
Yes,
So John, apparently this guy made an application for a fence that was white, but the house and all the other houses and all the other fences in the neighborhood are all natural to weather. Would you be in favor of this fence going to natural to weather?
yes.
Okay, great. So I think we have liftoff here if somebody wants to make that motion. Val?
Val's
Oh, I
taking a
was still
picture.
trying to send the picture.
That's okay.
It's
That's
too
okay.
late. You're about to
I'll
make
make
a
a motion
motion.
to approve with a natural to weather picket fence.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Abby's just made a motion to approve this, albeit with a natural to weather fence as opposed to white painted. Val, where are you on this?
Of course, I'm an I.
Very good, thank you. Diane?
Yes,
Very
I'm
good.
an I.
Thank you. Abby?
I've made the motion, yes.
Well, I know, I want to make sure that you're in favor of your motion. John?
Yes, I'm in favor.
All right, great. And the chair's in favor. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Okay. Oh, we're cutting right through it, folks. Next up, Ethan. Do we have Ethan on the line?
He should be. He was just in the waiting room.
Okay, let's see. Stephen Kadim.
I don't see him.
I see Michael Sweeney.
That's who he's representing.
Oh, well, should we just pull Michael Sweeney on then?
Hey, I'm on.
Oh, Michael, hi.
All right.
Hey, so Ethan is down as your representative, but could you walk us through this?
Yeah, so this is my own house,
Okay.
and I just want to do an addition to it
Okay,
and sort of give it a little better shape. It's got a little odd look to it. So trying to balance out the elevations and put a wing on, and then to sort of give it a little more character, we're thinking of getting rid of there's like a Duroc chimney on the roof at the minute, and we want to replace that with a cupola that'll let some light into the stairwell inside. Currently we have an interior stairwell with no light at all.
okay. So, Michael, I want to explain to everyone how Ethan has laid out your drawings that we're looking at on the screen right now. So the way it looks is we have your existing house above, like we have the existing west elevation on top, and below it, we have your proposed west elevation. Okay, so we see the addition, which appears to have vertical siding on it, which I want to get back to in a second. But so there's the addition, everyone, conspicuous on the west elevation. Now, if we go over to the south elevation, we see that a few things are happening. It looks like you're taking almost like a salt box shape and turning it into a true gable. Would that be fair to say, Michael?
Yep.
Okay. And then we're also on the left-hand side of that south elevation, we're seeing the side view of the broken back addition that he wants to do, also visible on the west elevation. Now, Kadim, if you could scroll down a little bit. Thank you. Now we have our east elevation, which shows a few window and door changes. It looks like you're getting rid of some sliders in favor of 3 double hungs, some casement windows, again, in favor of 3 smaller double hungs. And you're going with 2/2 rather than 6/6 up in the dormer. There is the addition of removal of the chimney that you just mentioned and the addition of the cupola. And then if we all turn our attention over to the north elevation, that's where we see the addition on the right-hand side, the salt box or whatever we want to call that on the left-hand side. Now that's all being skinned with vertical siding, and it looks like you're adding a little bit of a entry porch. Is that your front door, Michael, on the north elevation?
That will be the front door. Yeah, that's the proposed front door.
Okay, very good. So that in a nutshell is what Michael's looking to do. I'd like to poll my board members and see what they all have to say.
Can we just see the site plan again? Like how far it is from the road and all that?
Good idea.
And is the side that's facing the road the one you're asking to change to vertical board?
Yes.
Is it natural to weather?
Yes.
So Val,
Yeah.
this is at the corner of Tom Nevers Road and Longwood Drive, as you can see from the site plan there. And the addition is the piece that's basically poking out right to the corner.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I just, can you pull it down to Kadim so we can see the picture from the road?
There we go. Yep,
Yes,
that's it.
I have no concerns.
I ditto that.
Okay. John, where are you?
yes, I say one thing,
Yeah, go.
the style of the house as it is now and what it will become. All right, I said it when they applied for it back, and I still saying the same way. The cupola on this size house and style of house is not appropriate and ought to leave the chimney. I'm very strong on that, but anyway, that's my opinion. It's always been that way. I hope Mr. McSweeney can understand that.
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Diane?
I am not in favor of losing the chimney to the clunker on the top. I think that it doesn't become the house. It's usually considered with a barn or a garage type of building. And I don't think it's appropriate on this one. The boarding on the west and the south are going to be natural to weather.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. And I would like to see, what would I like to see? That's right. And your front door is now on the north, right? Can we go back to the north?
That's correct.
So, the east, I would like to see one set of those mulled windows separated rather than all the windows on that side mulled. You have enough room to separate the smaller 2/2s or the 3 larger ones on the left.
Are you asking me which would be easier to do?
Yeah,
Or,
basically.
I would rather see the larger ones on the west side of that building separated.
that's fine. Yeah, okay. Because the other 3 are in the kitchen on the inside, so I would be more in favor of separating the larger 3 also.
Right. And I don't know if you got what's in where your entry hall is, but you have the salt box there. So it takes the position of the front door out from underneath the 3 mulled windows up above. I don't know whether you could move the front door over just a couple of feet so it was under the last of the mulled windows.
Yeah, that would present some difficulties on the inside for sure.
Okay, well, that's just my opinion, that's all.
Thank you, Diane. You know, I sort of, to that point, Diane, I kind of think that, look, in the abstract, having the front door line up with the window up above is a good idea. I don't believe that this front door is actually going to be visible from Longwood or Tom Nevers Road. I mean,
No,
all the scrub
that's why.
oaks that are out there and everything.
Yeah,
You go ahead, sorry.
no, it's just that it's just something that I thought if it was easy to do, it would be good, but not absolutely necessary.
Now, the other thing that you mentioned, Diane, that I want to return to is when Michael was talking about removing the chimney, I'm pretty sure that he said it was like a plaster chimney or something like that.
It's actually made of Durock.
Durock, okay.
Really?
It's a beauty.
Wow, I bet, yeah.
Oh,
Wait, what was that?
These are simply photos of other cupolas in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you make,
I want to throw in a bit about the cupola. I mean, that this area has so varied architectures, and when he said he was going to let light into the, onto the staircase, it's just my heart sort of like, oh, sounds so wonderful. And I think I would agree if it were closer to town, if it was a historic district, but this on a big lot setback, I think the cupola is fine.
right, if it's a good size, and I didn't realize that the chimney wasn't a brick chimney.
Yeah, it sounds pretty crummy, Diane. Yeah. It's probably leaking like crazy. Hey, Michael.
Yep.
Is all the trim on your house natural at this point?
It's a combination. The windows are cased with painted trim, painted white, and then the rakes, corner boards, and everything else is natural. I'm
What's your
proposing
plan
to
moving
change
forward?
everything. I want to do everything natural to weather.
Okay, that's points in your favor, I think, in terms of this thing being very inconspicuous on the horizon. So listen, I think that if you're okay, Michael, with the idea of separating the triple window on, I believe that was the east elevation, was it not?
Correct, yeah.
The large windows on the first floor, and everything going to natural trim, that I'd be
Color
okay.
of the windows.
What?
Color of the windows.
We've submitted them as black.
Okay.
Was that you, Val?
Yeah, I just was curious.
Okay, yeah, okay. Well, I think that we could get a motion that included Diane's concern about the too many ganged windows, and I guess that's it. Do we want to try something like that?
I will.
Okay,
Motion to approve through staff with the, did you say west? No, north?
East.
East.
With the east windows in the gable being separated. That's my motion.
could you just throw the natural trim in there just for kicks? I'm sure that Michael will do it, but
With the trim natural to weather.
yeah, because it's right now it's a bit of a hodgepodge. Okay, I'm going to poll the board. So Abby,
I'm in favor of Val's motion.
thank you. Diane,
I'm in favor of the motion also.
thank you. John,
You know how I felt for years about cupolas,
about the cupola, yeah.
right? But don't start the cupola again. I just say that's, some things I stick to because I have to be consistent.
Mm.
So I'll vote no on it. Thank you.
Okay, so that's one opposed. Let's see. Val?
Aye, I made the motion.
Well, I know, but I have to poll you anyway.
Oh, okay. Aye.
Yeah, okay. I know that you're going to be in favor of your motion. And so the chair is in favor of. So that motion carries by a vote of 4 in favor, 1 opposed. Nice seeing you, Michael. Thanks.
Nice job.
Thanks, Ray.
Yeah, okay. Bye. And now, do we have somebody to represent 37 Ocean Avenue?
Yes, it's me.
No.
Oh,
You're
sorry.
51
Yes.
Ocean Avenue.
Sorry.
Yes, you do.
Oh, I just saw you.
It was after,
It says Shanny Lightshare, but it's Tobias Glidden speaking.
Hi, Tobias.
Well, it's a
You
pleasure
were
to be
on
here.
and then you disappeared. Tobias?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, you're there. Okay. So do you want to just run us through what you hope to do at 37 Ocean Ave?
Yeah, I would love to. So this property is right on Ocean Ave and Linden Lane, which is I don't know, a grass road, I'd say. It's a beautiful little grass.
Oh yeah, I know.
down
The one.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It's more of like a walking way. And a client came to us, Mrs. Heller, and she would like to do solar. She originally really wanted it on the front of her building that would directly face Ocean Ave and, kind of like that one clean black surface. And I talked her out of it.
Good.
And we've proposed this kind of scaled back design on the rear of the structure that kind of faces south and a little west. So it's our all black panels. It's on an all black roof. And you can see there's a good amount of vegetation kind of surrounding it. And it's not openly visible from any like thoroughly traveled way. So from Ocean Ave or from McKinley Ave on the other side.
Okay. So Kadeem,
Yep.
could you just scroll down? So I think everyone's assimilated the locus and the site plans, and now we have the house itself. Surely there must be some photographs of this house in the package.
We
It's an
do,
old
so I-
house.
What?
It's old.
I bet it is.
It's a historic house, not just old. It's,
Tobias, I just have these as pictures, but I'm not.
Yeah, in the original packet, there should be some pictures.
Okay, let's go back to it. Let's see.
I can provide a photo too.
All right, I'm scrolling down. Oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah, so we try to do these little locus points so you get a sense of where you are. So right on the far right picture, you're kind of on the corner of Ocean Ave and Linden Street. Then in the middle, you're right in the middle of Linden Street looking at that. And then further down Linden Street towards the west, facing back at that southern and western roofs.
Okay, so this, I think, kind of tells the story. The first two, I should say, the left-hand photograph, the one with the big tree in it, and the middle photograph show the area where you want to put these solar panels. They're sort of, one is on the dormer and one's, as Kadim is circling there, on that backside of the gable, away from Ocean Avenue, right?
Yep.
Okay. Is that really a black roof? It looks gray in these pictures.
It is a black roof, yes.
Okay. All right. I
Yeah.
think everybody probably gets this. Abby, would you like to start?
well, I don't want to set a precedence, but I mean, this lane, the grass lane is, you may not get a lot of cars down it, but pedestrian, I mean, this is this is
Yeah.
pretty iconic.
Yes.
I think you'd have to like sit on top of me to get me to okay this one. I
I
just
had a feeling you were going to say that. Maybe
can't
not those words
see this.
exactly, but yeah.
It's one of my favorite streets in the world. I mean, I don't want to get too emotional here, but I'd be
Are those-
Tobias, I love you, but I can't do it.
So just for context, and I appreciate that, Abby, we did attach, Kadim, some other photos of a
Yep.
project that the HDC recently unanimously approved. That's visible from Baxter Road. And these are all black panels put on a gray roof. So that's the corner of Emily Street and Baxter Road. And then Kadim, if you slide a little more, that's, right there on Baxter Road. And then Kadim, if you go down a little more, the last photo, and that's even showing the panels. Oop, that picture right there.
Seriously?
You can actually see the panels, directly. They come up over the peak of the roof.
Hey,
there on Baxter
Tobias,
Road. So I just wanted to show
Well,
some context.
that,
of
well,
something the HDC. Oop,
this is,
Can I make a statement, please?
oh, Diane, please go ahead. Yes. Go ahead, Diane.
It doesn't matter what we did on another application. Each one is different. The house, the last house we're looking at is not an old house on an old street and old. The second thing is I voted for the solar panels and allowed them. I was the one who led the battle for Bartlett's out in the field.
Hmm.
But first of all, we've always asked for them to be the same shape. And these are different shapes, and it looks like a mess. I think that contrary to what an owner wants to do, it is important. We are the HCC, and we're supposed to be able to make a mixture of old and new together. And I think to put these on this particular house would be a bad idea. It is.
So
it
if
is
I can
always,
just a point of, thank you, Diane, just a point of clarification, that other house that was approved, and I totally understand each house is its own, but that other house was built in 1910, just for the
well,
record.
that's old. When was this house built?
This house was built in 1920.
Okay,
Okay.
this house does not
beg to
lend
differ.
itself to solar panels being seen from the lane and from the street. You see it coming and going and going down Linden. I can't do it. Not this time.
Thank you, Diane.
Mr. Chairman,
What I would say.
Yes, John.
I would like to,
Yeah.
go ahead. Thank you. This structure, no matter if it's old or new, it's in the old historic district area, which was voted years ago to protect, and which we're not doing a very good job in some of it. And a lot of this new stuff that's coming out, all you gotta tell people, you're in that area, you can't have it. And I've not liked or cared for, it's not I don't like something, it's like I don't care for seeing them, so much of it. If you can get it on the ground, put it on the ground, that's fine, block it, you can block it with hedges or something. But as far as this here, this keeps going on and on, more and more modern stuff coming to Nantucket, and we let it happen. Why, I don't know. But anyway, if and when they have a town meeting, well, in my 54th year, yeah. I hope I can still stay strong to what we were supposed to do to protect Nantucket's visual aspects. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Val.
Well, first I want to say, I thought the house that Tobias showed us, we approved the panels on the other side. So this is interesting, which was away from the road. I agree because of the significance of this house. This is the house with the flying buttresses, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And I appreciate the location because it's not right on the street, but this is visible. So I would probably say, Tobias, can you rethink it and maybe stick it on the side away from the ocean somewhere that isn't seen from any of the lanes?
Is that it, Val?
Plus, they're going in different directions.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, well, Tobias, even if I was in favor of this, which I'm not, for all the reasons that my other fellow board members have stated already, I think you have an uphill climb. So I think you have to go back and reevaluate this and maybe talk to your clients about what to do. By the way, the precedent photographs that you sent, ordinarily, precedent is we're showing good things, and like that was not a good installation. That was not an attractive installation of solar. So
we don't stand behind it in any way.
I'm just saying, like, just because it was done incorrectly and it was a problem, we don't want to make that same mistake twice. So, just showing that it's there, you know what I mean?
I have a question for Tobias.
What?
I have a question for Tobias.
Oh, well, go, please.
Can you scroll, Kadeem, back to the drawings that you guys did? Okay, right here. So Tobias, the ones on the south, the bigger ones that are on the main roof, it looks like could fit on the west below the panels you're proposing.
Yeah, it's really, it's very tight. We could remove those and probably fit maybe 3 over there.
So that to me would be really helpful because that is the side that faces away from Ocean Ave, and because of the way it faces Linden, they're less visible, and that I think is moving in a good direction, keeping them less visible.
Thank you. Thank you, Val.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Oh, yes, please, Holly.
I just wanted to indicate that this is a shingle style built in 1892. We don't necessarily want to go by what the tax assessors will indicate on their information, not necessarily correct. So that's just my
Good
point.
point. It didn't
you.
look like a 1920s house to me. But
No.
thank you for that clarification, Holly. Very
Yeah,
nice.
thanks, Holly.
Okay, so should we just hold this for revisions or something?
Yeah,
like-
I like Val's suggestion, but I really can't, I still can't see passing it, but I think it's probably to give Tobias a chance, we should probably make a view to go out there and look at that west roof and see how that hits us when we're out there.
Okay, well, so I think,
Can we look at the
This was
pictures
on a view.
again?
Val, what photos? These ones?
Please, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So that little deck does have a door on,
the second.
on Linden Lane. Okay, on the drawings, it didn't show a door and I thought it was just maybe a decorative thing and you could stick some in there. That would be hidden by the railing, but
Oh, yeah. Well, so Val's made a suggestion. I think it's up to Tobias to see how feasible that suggestion would be. And if it's at all feasible, then we'll see Tobias again. And maybe at that point we would view. Because right now we kind of don't know what we would be viewing, right?
Yeah, I think it's,
Yeah,
I'm more than happy to remove them from that westernly or that southerly face, and if we can move 2 or 3 over on to the westerly face, I'm totally fine with making those changes. I don't know if the board would like to see those drawn up ahead of time, or you want to make those changes on the fly.
I think we
would-
need to see it. Sorry.
We do need to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
me
I would
And
agree with that.
also, can I say that Holly's remark about what year it was built, which is 30 years earlier than what Tobias said, that be recorded, so it is noted that it was built in 1893, didn't you say, Holly?
1892. It's actually indicated on the staff report.
I
Yep.
think it's one of the last surviving buildings that were along Ocean Ave. It's one of the
Hmm.
few
Wow.
surviving buildings that, that like the summer house and some of the older ones are 19th century.
Right. Well, I just think we should know it and go look at it as the HDC.
I'd had this indicated as viewed as well.
Okay,
Yep.
Great, thank you.
thanks, Tobias. Can we have a motion?
Motion to hold for revisions.
Very good. Abby,
I'm in favor of holding for a revision.
thank you. John?
Yes. No,
In
if you
favor
should.
of. Okay,
No,
Diane,
no.
I'm in favor of holding for revisions.
thank you very much. Val,
Yes, I'm
of course. And Chair is in favor of, so that motion carries unanimously. Hey, Tobias, thanks. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Go take a look at it and check out the
All right.
other one in the area. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks.
All right, thanks. Okay, the next, do we, Val Oliver in the queue?
What was your motion, please?
The motion was to
Oh.
hold it for revisions, John.
Thank you. I can write it down. Thank you.
Val, are you in the queue?
I am.
Ready to represent?
Yeah, it's super simple. I
Okay,
thought it
so
would be.
Before we start down that, I think TJ is in our rotation now. So TJ will be taking your place on the board.
Okay.
You there, TJ?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Go ahead, Val.
This is a garage, I believe originally designed by Botticelli and Paul.
Oh, yeah. No, actually, wait, no.
No?
No.
Okay.
No. the original buildings there were like from the 70s, way before our time, including that. And we did some modifications to the house.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, that was, I'm trying to remember who did that originally, but go ahead.
Anyway, as you can see from the first page, looking down the driveway, it's down and curved in and behind the neighbor's house, which is in front of it, and behind the main house. What's being proposed is this existing garage. They want to add a 9-light door on the right underneath
Yep.
that stair wall.
Yep.
And then on the rear, some little storage sheds that are natural to weather, one, independent, and then the rest under an exterior stairway to a second floor door.
A second floor door that you're adding.
Right.
Okay.
There's a window there now, sorry.
Okay. So all the stuff on the southwest elevation pretty much is new.
Below the stairway, yeah.
Stairwell, okay, all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Thanks.
And it's Quaker gray, the trim, I think, and
It is.
yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Val. I'm going to start with Diane.
Right. This is Ocean Avenue 2?
No.
This is down on Jefferson Avenue in town.
Oh, okay.
We astral projected to town down by
Yeah.
Jetties.
Yep.
Maybe the site plan will help you too.
Yeah, there we go. So,
See how it's tucked behind?
yeah, way behind. I think it's a nice shape. The staircase doesn't project out that much, and the little sheds tucked right underneath it. I have no problem with it.
Thank you, Diane. How about you, John?
yes, when we look at the structure, the drawings, yeah. I find it, where it's set back so far off the road of what's already existing, the changes, I feel they seem appropriate. What is going on where the boarding is? On
There's-
the northwest and the southwest. Is that boarding or is it shingle?
The northwest is already, the shingling is there. That whole wall is there. I'm only asking for a 9-light door into the garage on the first floor.
Right.
And then the rest of it in the rear is natural to weather cedar.
Val, I have a question while you're there. What is that? Is that boarding? It doesn't state what it is.
Hey, John?
I
John?
just said natural to weather cedar.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
thank-
on the southwest elevation, that's also labeled rear elevation, that is cedar vertical boards. Then if you go over to the right elevation, also labeled northwest, that's all shingled. So
Okay.
only in the back, this is in the back facing up to the bluff. That's where the vertical board is. That's
Thank
the
you.
only spot.
Thank you.
You good? Okay. TJ?
I'm with Diane on this. I find it appropriate and think it all fits in.
Thank you. Abby?
I'm okay with it.
All right, let's, if somebody wants to make a motion.
Make a
To
motion to
approve
approve.
as submitted.
I heard Abby say that, so I'll let Abby make the motion. Diane, where are you?
I'm for it.
Thank you. John?
Yes,
Thank you. TJ?
Aye.
Very good. Abby?
Aye.
And chairs in favor. So the motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Val. All right, now the next one, as you can all see, is a Botticelli and Pole. So I believe
I'm here.
Lisa's in the queue. So Abby, would you mind? Oh, no, I'm sorry, Diane, you're here. So Diane, could you chair this one for, I'm going to recuse, of course.
Okay,
And you probably want to have, you want to appoint an associate to fill my spot.
if we got Jesse,
No, we just have.
You have Stephen, he's just not, he's on mute.
oh, all right, well, let's try Stephen.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Steve.
Should I start?
Yeah, please.
Hi, everybody. How are you? This is an application for, the client got approval from the Conservation Commission to add a platform on their beach stair. So they had to extend the stair, down the bluff a little bit, which they got approval for. So we're just trying to rebuild the bottom half of the stair using the same details. The top half of the stair is going to remain. And then we're going to just match the details on the bottom half of the stair. And I think we submitted a bunch of photos.
Okay, and it's, what's it being made out of, cedar?
Yeah, see, they're all natural to weather.
Okay, all right, let me start with Abby and see what she has to say.
So, Lisa, this is, we're just reconstructing the existing, it already existed and we're,
Well, the top half, the top is the moon gate. There's a little moon gate landing and the first one
Yeah.
stairs. And from that point, they got approval. You can sort of see it on the plan if you blow that up, Kadeem. You'll see a tiny square that's kind of light gray.
yeah.
What do you want me to blow up, Lisa?
To the site plan.
Scroll
Oh,
down a
okay.
tiny bit, yeah.
So you see the lighter treads. Oops, you need to scroll over. That's where the black is the new landing. So you see all the treads have to shift down the bluff. But the top half of the existing landing, the first sort of stairs stay exactly where they are.
Yep, I'm in favor of it.
Oh,
There's also some pictures if you want to look at the details. They were submitted.
Well, John, it already exists.
Yeah.
where'd you get that picture of my wife? Where it says photos.
Huh?
My wife is right there where Steve is. And then where Steve is standing, they put my wife in there. Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Nadeem, can we see the pictures?
These ones here?
Yeah,
So that's the existing stair. And we're just going to match the details.
and it's gonna have like a platform you can sit on?
Well, they just wanted, I mean, we're not proposing any benches on it. I asked them if they wanted that. They said no. I think it's just a larger platform. Yeah, maybe they'll take a beach chair down there. I'm not sure, but nothing built in.
How much is it, how long is it when it's looking down at, in that one picture, it looked really long. Is it typical with other staircases going down?
I don't know how long it was, but I would say that we're probably increasing the length by the size of the platform, which I think is like 10 feet. But from where we're rebuilding everything, it's 40 down to the boardwalk at the bottom. There's a dimension on our elevation. It's 48 feet. The dimension.
Is it sort of in keeping with other walks on the bluff?
I think so. I mean, I think just because we're really not trying to change the detail of it, and they were just trying to get a slightly bigger landing so that it wasn't so steep all the way down. You had a longer platform where you could just take a couple more steps before you started going down the stairs.
Yeah.
That was the point of the expanded landing. So,
Alrighty. Steve, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm a little unclear on the, Kadeem, can you go to the site plan portion and zoom in on the bubble of the plan view labeled beach stair site plan?
Okay, yep, beach stair site plan, gotcha.
So you're showing the lower portion of the same sheet. Zoom into the upper drawing. Please.
Oh, zoom into this.
No, scroll up. Yeah, the upper drawing on the left.
Yeah.
The
This
site
right
plan
here.
Up top.
The upper drawing on the left.
I'm at the what upper? That's
Upper
Right here.
portion of the sheet. Yeah, that.
Mute your computer.
Yeah, can you zoom in on that, please?
even more. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, we can't see it on the YouTube.
Ooh, sorry. Let's see. I'm there. The YouTube is a little behind me, but I'm there.
That works.
No, hit the plus button. There you go.
It's behind. I'm as zoomed in on my screen as I can get.
You worry that it's extended too too close to the beach, or?
I just wanted to get a better understanding of what the landing is. It just looks, what are the dimensions of the landing, that new landing? Lisa, through you, Madam Chair, my understanding is it says add new landing, and there's an arrow to a rectangle that's not pochade. What are the dimensions of that?
Uh-oh, did we lose Lisa?
Ray's muted right now, so if she's using Ray's, let's see. Can I unmute her?
And
Does
Kadeem,
it say
can you
on the
show the left
application?
portion of that
Yes, the
drawing?
application says 10 by 20.
Ah,
By
20.
20.
And Steve, what was that?
If you could just scroll your page so we can see the existing deck.
Down to the photos or this right here?
No, don't change your drawing. Just if you can scroll, grasp the little bar at the bottom and slide it to the left so we can see the existing landing in the image as well as the.
I see. Sorry about that.
The existing landing is much smaller.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm just trying to understand what I'm looking at. So, no, not down, side, no, other way. There you go. Now, all the way over and then back up, please.
I got it.
Yeah, it's there. Are you looking at the YouTube or the Zoom?
There you go. YouTube, I was looking at the YouTube.
Okay, so that's just a little behind what I'm doing here, but okay, I should be there.
Okay, cool. So it seems like it's quite a bit larger than the existing landing, and I will say I was not able to view this just based on where it is. So I'm not sure what other landings in that area are like.
Why don't we make a view then?
If you guys want to do it, that's fine. Sorry, I got onto Ray's computer because for some reason my computer's sound isn't working. I just used the size that they got approved at the Concom. So if you guys want to take a view, that's fine.
Okay.
I would like to see
Go ahead, Abby.
the new platform made smaller to copy the existing one. I think it extends way out. If there's not going to be a bench or anything else, I don't understand the width of it. So I think that it should be of a smaller size, but that's debatable. Why don't
Madam Chair,
we
can
have
I throw in a couple of 2 cents? That
Sure.
that I think because where this particular house is at the corner of Ocean and Maury, that it's a little bit more publicly viewed, like it's not up Baxter Road where, you know, there's the house and then there's a garden and then you go down the stairs. So this one's a little more exposed. So maybe it is worth a view to stand there and look down and imagine what Lisa has drawn here.
I think it would be good to have a view.
Yeah, I think there are stakes for the platform too that had been put there by the surveyor.
Great.
Yes.
So that'll be evident. And, you know, I think the And I'll certainly reach out to our client and find out where they came up with the 10 by 20 in the meantime, but if you guys would like to view, that's fine.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was 20. That seems a little long.
So may I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to view unless you
All
want
righty.
to say something else, Steve.
No, I was just looking for information, and a view is fine, and even better if it's staked.
That's perfect. All right.
Okay, motion to hold for a view.
All right, Abby, what is your vote?
I'm in favor of holding for a view with the stakes and
Okay, very good. Thank you. Val.
I'll go along with that.
All right, Val. And Steve.
Aye.
All righty. And Johnny.
Yes.
Okay. So that's everybody is in favor. That is a unanimous vote.
Unanimous.
Unanimous.
Okay,
Okay.
Roger that.
We need a
Okay.
unanimous logo for our mascot.
We're heading into old business. and
Right.
Diane is chairing that.
I'll make you one in my new sewing.
I think they know because they're already pulling up the,
Oh, okay.
and I had emailed a bunch of photos to Kathy, but I'm assuming that they didn't get to you, Kadeem.
Let me see if they're here in this drive. No, they're not. So I'm assuming, I don't have them.
If they were emailed today, then no, she was not in the office today.
Oh,
As
okay.
far as I
So
understand.
it was just a bunch of pictures of, I think the last time that this was heard, there was just concern about just having the whole thing be brick. And so I took a bunch of pictures of driveways around Westchester Street. I actually took a picture of Abby's driveway with the little, and with the detail in the center. So we've broken up the brick with a detail in the middle of it. There should be a drawing and then a photo.
Okay.
And I don't know if you guys remember, is that the Board of Health is requiring us to put 2 parking spaces here. Not the Board of Health, the
Select board,
the what board, Val?
select.
Yeah. No, not the select board, the DPW.
Okay.
When you get rid of one parking space on the street, you have to put 2 onto the property. So this was built as a single car. They're requiring us to make it twice as wide. One can be undersized. So one is a 7 by 20. And then the other one is a regular size lot, the parking space. But you should have a new drawing and a photo that shows what we're
see.
proposing.
So this is all I have here in this. So it's just this site plan and then this photo.
Okay, so you don't have the right information.
Let me go back and see if there's more. I don't believe so, though.
Is there a way?
Kadeem, you might want to look under view pack to the link that.
Okay, let's see. Yep, I was.
Sorry, Madam Chair.
That's all right.
No, yeah, I was under viewpack, Holly, and this is it.
Is it possible for me to somehow email you or the copy of the submission so that we could pull up what we're proposing?
Yeah, you can email it to my email if you have it right now, and I'm happy to open that Outlook document
Okay,
up.
so why don't I let you guys go to number 2 and then I'll email it and then I'll hop back on after you
Okay.
finish number 2.
Madam Chair, if that's fine with
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
Okay, so number 10B.
Tell John what's going on.
All right.
Okay, so John,
Yeah.
what's taking place right now is Lisa Botticelli is going to be sending, I think, some photographs that can be posted for the first old business application at 27 Westchester. So while we're waiting on that, we're going to move forward with the second application on old business, which is 10B Cliff Road, I'll announce the board that's on that, although if you have a copy of the agenda, you'll know who's on that. And I also asked Kadeem if we have Matt on the line.
Yep.
Yeah, Matt should be there.
I'm here.
You are, Matt?
Yep.
Let me find you.
Somebody has their YouTube on.
Yeah.
So while we're waiting on that, we're going to move forward with the.
I love hearing myself talk like.
You already said that.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Matt, where the heck are you?
I'm here.
I hear. Oh, well, obviously.
Okay. I just saw a black thing that said Matt, and that disappeared. Let me see.
Well, I don't know why it's not showing.
Hey, Matt, go
Yep.
on to your thing and enable.
Undo yourself.
Hold on 1 second.
That's Abby.
Your voice thing is on, video is not.
Can I get Kadeem's email? Is it Gmail?
Hey, Kadeem.
It's K McCarthy
Yeah.
at nantucket-ma.gov.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
Matt, I saw that you emailed me, so I'm just gonna open that up in the meantime while you.
Sure.
You know, it's not essential that we have Matt's video on because I'm.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why it's not working. It's been working. I've been doing a lot of Zoom.
It's zoomed out.
I don't know.
All right. So I think we're all familiar, or those of us sitting on this are familiar with this application. But let me, did you take my thing?
Sorry, let's get back to Matt. Where are you? There he is.
Thank you, Kadeem.
No problem.
Right?
Okay, everybody.
Right.
Yes, John.
Okay.
Get your attention, right? Yeah. I have to go. All right. So I can't see the thing on the application. Right there. Yeah, I was trying to see what color changes there are.
All right, well, John, let me, this might be of less concern to you when you hear who the board is on this.
Right.
So here is who has been on this application. Myself, Diane, Abby, and Stephen. That's it. 4 people. Okay? So now, Matt, we left you with some concerns and considerations last time, and could you just tell us where we are now?
Sure. So thank you, Mr. Chair. So where we left off, the previous submission, we had a taupe, like a light taupe clapboard, and we proposed for the trim to be gray, Quaker gray, which is, like a darker gray, if you will. So actually after the meeting, like I said, I thought that the gray solution would be something that the board would be in favor of. And it turns out that there was some, a little bit of pushback on that. And so went back and talked with our clients, and we actually spent a lot of time going through it, and, they actually feel really strongly that they really prefer the gray. And primarily it's a function of the aesthetic and the context and, being familiar with the immediate site. And so it is something that's they feel really strongly about and hope they can get approval for. Historically and precedent wise, there's many examples of gray trim buildings, even in this immediate context. And I took another walk out there and, looked around and basically feel that, gray is something that is appropriate. What we're proposing for this application, based on what we heard at the last meeting, was instead of going with a Quaker gray, we are suggesting to go with like a lighter gray, a lighter tone gray. So it's almost, I wouldn't quite call it like an off-white, but it is a lighter, much lighter shade of gray for the trim.
What's the name of the gray?
It's actually a sea haze, which is that top color there.
Okay.
Thanks, Kadeem, for pulling that up.
No problem.
The saber gray was an option that's below it, but that is darker, and that's pretty close to a cobblestone. And so I think the sea haze works well. And again, if we wanted to go lighter, we certainly could go lighter. As far as the clapboard's concerned, we wanted to go with, stick with the lighter color, the existing color, not change it. I'd also point out
existing color.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it also point out that the sash of the windows is actually black. It's kind of hard to see with the photographs, but that is the, it is a darker color. Also, I want to point out too, I actually did some historic research of just the houses in the area, and the house across the street, which is at 9, was actually a darker trim. It was actually almost looks like a black, more than a, looks darker than a gray. So anyways, with that, Mr. Chair, look forward to the board's comments.
Okay, so just so that we have the whole package, you're proposing this sea haze gray for all the trim,
Yep.
black sash, right?
Yep.
Red door.
Yeah, red door.
Red door, and the clapboard that's on the first floor of this on the front will basically remain the same color that it is
Yes.
right now. Okay. All right. So thank you, Matt. And now I'm going to turn it over to the board. So Diane, what do you think about this?
I like that, the color that's there on the first floor. I like the color of the front doors much. I wouldn't mind seeing the sea haze being lighter.
Lighter than the sea haze.
Yes,
Okay.
I think that it makes the windows a little more prominent, which when you have a guest house and stuff, you want, I don't know. I just think it might look well with a lighter gray. That's all. Otherwise, the colors are fine.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Diane. Abby.
I'm a big, I like platinum gray. It's a soft gray. And I think it would look pretty sharp with the black sash.
Mr. Chair, could I just on that comment, if we did go with the platinum gray, because I'd love that color, Abby, that's great. Is it possible to make the clapboard the platinum gray as well? So
Yeah, well, I would like an overall, and I was just about to say that. So I would be in favor of that.
By the
I would
way,
too. I think that's great.
yeah, Diane, if you're familiar with
Yeah.
platinum gray actually is lighter than this sea haze gray. So
No, I know platinum gray. Come on, I've looked at these colors ad nauseum.
okay.
That's what I was thinking, was getting up to the lighter gray. It would bring the face of the building out.
Okay, well, all right. Then we still haven't heard from Stephen.
Matt, appreciate the rendering. It makes a big difference. I am fine actually with the gray as proposed. I think it's in keeping with the times. And I would suggest, I think the platinum is also fine, as has been discussed, including on the clapboard. I would suggest, if you haven't considered it, that you consider bringing this a little away from Quaker to more of the original style of the house, and the original painting, which is the black sash against the white trim. Your application indicates light gray, or whatever the gray color is for the sash, that perhaps the raisin tort would be on the sash. It is hidden, as the black is currently, behind the white. So it's a very understated change, but it does give some dimensionality to the facade overall, to have a slight change in the color. So I would ask that you consider that, but I am fine with it as it's proposed. Oh,
Okay.
by the way, ABM, anything but moccasin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Should I try?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I propose to approve this application, changing the sea haze, which is the trim, and the clapboard to platinum gray. What's the red called?
It's
Matt?
called a raisin tort.
Yeah, raisin.
Oh, yeah, raisin tort for the front door. And is it the sash that's left?
Yeah, the sash is existing black.
Okay. And that's not, you're not wanting to change that?
Correct.
And so the sash stays the same. Is there anything I've missed?
No,
No,
nothing I can see of.
No foundation, no, no. So, that's my
Good, yeah.
a motion.
motion. Thank you.
Basically, Abby is suggesting motions to change his color as proposed to platinum gray on and keeping the existing black. Pull my board now. What do you think about that?
I vote,
Motion.
I'm for it.
Very good. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Stephen,
Aye.
thank you. Abby,
Aye.
chairs in favor, motion carries unanimously.
Thank you all very
Great.
much.
Great,
And thanks
great.
to the staff too. Thanks for all your help.
Welcome.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks.
Ciao.
Okay, it sounds like maybe Lisa would be back with this stuff that she was handling on the first application, so I'm leaving now. She's coming in. Are you doing your computer or?
I'm gonna try to do.
So I've got a few things from Lisa here. So just Lisa, when you're ready, let me know what to pull up and I'll get it ready for you.
This was the, thank
The
you.
new drawing.
Yeah, that's the new drawing. So we're proposing to leave the parking space brick, but to break it up with a center of fieldstone. And the next image is a photo of a driveway with that treatment. It's actually on Union Street. And I don't think we weren't thinking of doing the herringbone on the brick though, right?
Yes.
Oh, we were? Okay, just like that.
All right.
Didn't you just brick it? Isn't it fresh brick already there?
Yeah, it's only one space now though. And you guys, when we came in the first time for just doing the whole thing in brick, you thought it was too big as all brick. So we're proposing putting in the strip of fieldstone in the center.
No, but I mean, isn't it running, whatever it's called?
Bond,
Right now?
Ray said it's herringbone.
go
It
back
is.
to the picture.
Is that the one?
Yeah. Oh, it's herringbone. You can see
It
it.
is.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, blow me away. Well, I like the way you cut it. Who's chairing this?
Me.
Can I go first?
Actually,
Yeah.
you know what? It says camp acting chair.
Oh,
McLaughlin
all right.
Oliver Watterson.
Okay.
Sorry.
oh,
Not that I work for you guys, but I'm just.
sorry about that. I'll take a back seat then. Sorry, Val, are you on this?
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
What do you
Oh,
think?
sorry.
I want to look at the drawing again.
This one here, or sorry, this one?
Yeah,
Can you blow that up?
Absolutely.
okay. Okay.
And I did send Kadeem a bunch of photos having walked around town. I don't know if all 3 emails went through.
They did. I can open those up if you want to see those. I just
Well, if the board feels like they need to, there's a lot of very wide, there's one right across the street that's a huge Belgian block, 2 wide driveway. There's an asphalt
Yes.
one up the street. There's a bunch of brick ones on Lily, and I actually took a picture of Abby's driveway because it's very pretty. It's brick with a little cobble strip in the middle. So I think you see a lot of examples of something like this in town.
yeah. I can open those up if you guys want. They're there.
Go back to the picture of the house. Please.
Okay, give me 1 second. Just it's hidden under here. There
There's
you go.
some nice combination driveways of different materials on India Street too.
Yeah, I took some of those too.
So the second spot isn't as deep, but it does go wider. Probably just slightly into the steps.
You can rotate that, Kadeem.
Can I?
Yeah, up at
I,
the top,
I
the
like
arrow.
doing this.
Do you, Val? There we go.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
went up and down the street today and there's a million different driveways. Some are look like 3 cars wide, which is astonishing with Belgian block and gravel.
Yeah.
So I think a little half space with something to break it up is fine.
Oh, sorry.
What you're proposing.
Good. Thank you, Val. Steve
Steve is
or TJ.
TJ.
Yes, ma'am. I like the application, Lisa. The median field stone goes a long way into reducing the block of red brick. I think it's well done. It softens it, and this is the way to get 2 spots on that property. I love it.
Thank you.
Is John on this?
John is on it.
John, are you there?
Yes.
I don't see your picture.
Yeah, my comments are that leave the brick, but put smaller stones if you're gonna have them in the middle, not that much wide, how wide they are. Usually they're not that wide when you have anything else mixed in on cars, parking. And that's, that picture you had here.
Included a picture, that's on.
Right, yeah, it seems awful wide between the cars because the tires are only 6.5 feet wide. So that is probably 8 feet. Just it needs more brick exposed than the stones, the rocks. That's my comment. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Lisa, how wide have you proposed the stone in the medium?
Hey, Ray, can you tell me that? 2 feet, we think? Might be dimension.
Oh.
2 feet to 30 inches or something?
Yeah.
Let's see. Hard to say.
Let's see, 20.
I might be able to scale it off my.
7 is.
Well, it's 16 feet of brick, so.
Yeah, 16 from, it's 4 feet wide here, I think.
It's 20 feet at the width of the apron, and then it goes down a little bit, so.
Oh, yeah.
10.
Yeah, so I personally like it as proposed. Do I hear a?
I'll make a motion to approve the application.
Val?
I'm in. Aye.
And John?
Aye.
And TJ?
Yes, ma'am. Aye.
Okay, that motion passes.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Lisa.
Lisa.
Yep, see you soon.
Hello. Okay, so we have a final old business item, which is the kitchen.
We have 2. What about 67 Sparks?
Oh, gosh. Oh, whoa, I'm so sorry. Yes. Yeah, and I'm not on that. So Diane, that's you.
Okay, what's the address again?
It's 67 Sparks Ave hardscaping.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't know who's here for that, but I did just accept everyone that was in the waiting room. So maybe it's Jamie Lower.
I don't know.
Edgewater.
Who's
Let
that?
'em in. What's the worst thing that can happen?
Yeah, just pull somebody up and see if it's their application.
Well, yeah, I did. Everyone's in. Everyone's accepted. So if they can hear us, they should say something.
Well, but they're muted.
Is here and waiting.
No, he let them all in.
Okay. On my computer. Oh.
Hello?
Hello, hi, Paul Cronin here.
I'm here.
Now,
So is someone here for 67 Sparks Avenue?
Yes, Paul Cronin is here.
Okay, speaking from Jamie Lauer. Okay, Myra, we'll be with you after this application.
All righty. Do you want to tell us what you've done there now?
Okay, so the concerns of the board were originally the privet along Sparks Ave will formalize the area. We're so limited on space here. I think privet really seems to be our only option. And I did try and give you guys some context of along this street, there is really privet hedges as far as from the corner all the way around to our site. There are privet hedges. If you can scroll down, it's just they haven't been maintained over
That's
the
what
years.
looks nice.
Pardon?
I said, that's what looks nice.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, at this point, we're just trying to get as much space so we can accomplish the parking off the street and give the tenants some space for each duplex. And I did also change the stepping stones to a normal flagstone and change all the patios to brick, so to be less formal and step away from the bluestone that we originally had. Other than that, those are about the only changes we made so far.
All right. Well, let's put it to the commissioners to see what they say.
Okay.
Abby.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I think I'm okay with it in general.
Okay.
I think it's nice.
All righty.
Thank you.
So Val.
I think I was the one who said the thing about the privet hedge, and I think my point was, yes, I see all those hedges next to you, but they're sort of wild, and it's just a less formal, thing. But in general, I think it's fine.
All righty. And Johnny?
Yes, could we see a photo looking in the driveway from Sparks Avenue?
I don't know if I have one of those, John.
I'm sorry?
These are all the photos we have here.
It's from the winter time.
I'm trying to place it there. Because they just put the road in today on one of the spots. Okay,
Yeah,
thank
the
you.
road was just paved
Thank
today.
you. Thank you.
Okay.
Who else is on it?
Yeah, I need one more person.
I think I'm on it. I think that I am recused for some reason on this.
Oh, yeah, it says that. Well,
I don't remember recusing, but I guess so. Maybe because Matt was representing it on the last go around. That's why.
Yes, Meredith did represent first round.
Well, maybe we can okay it and just not like, to Val's point, I know what she's saying, the formality, because everything's sort of open there with the school, and maybe you just don't clip the hedge so sharp, or maybe it's.
Sure. we can let the hedge grow a little more wild up front without a doubt. I think it's more so privacy and safety for the tenants, that if they have any kids, they can't run onto Sparks Avenue. I mean, it is a very busy street, but yeah, over time we can scale back on the maintenance to make the hedge.
Yeah, I mean, the privets can let go. I mean, plant it substantially, but we could let it grow wild. It doesn't have to be like a, Versailles.
Of course. I don't think it will be either. I think they'll probably maintain it themselves over time anyway.
All right, let me see. We have one more. TJ, did you say you were on it?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
Steven, are you on it then?
No. It's
No,
you,
it's Coombe,
John, Abby, and me.
That's it. Okay. May I have a motion?
Did John say anything?
I just asked for a shot if you had a photo looking up the driveway, that's all.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I'll make a motion to approve with the caveat that the privet be not formally cut, that it grow naturally.
All
Can
right.
you make the motion as the chair?
No, I'm not making motion.
Oh,
I can only-
Diane's the chair. Sorry. Okay, gotcha.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Oh, that's right. Abby just made the motion and that should go with that. So Abby, what's your opinion of the motion?
I'm for it.
I have to ask. Ray said I had to ask. So
I know.
Yes, I'm in favor.
All right. And Johnny,
Yes,
you're in favor of it?
yes. I'm in
Okay.
favor.
And I'm in favor of it also.
And I will concur. Aye with Abby's motion.
Oh, I thought you already did that. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
4-0. So there it is, 4-0. Thank you very much.
Thank
everybody.
you. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks, Diane.
All right.
Okay, now, so the final old business item is Richmond, and this is for that vent hood. And I know that we needed some additional information, and I believe,
We didn't get it.
no, oh, we didn't?
I have. Myra's here.
Yes.
Let's see. Myra, can you hear us?
She had difficulties the last time, Kadeem.
Yeah, she is here though. She messaged us on YouTube. I just accepted her
Hi.
again. Oh,
Hi,
There she is.
hello.
Okay.
This is
Can
correct.
you hear me?
We can hear you. We can't see you.
I'm trying to get the video start going.
There you go.
Hit your video thing, Myra.
I'm it's not been, sorry.
Who's the board on this, Ray?
Okay, myself,
Oh my
Diane,
God, I had it on.
John, you, Abby, and Val. 5 people.
I have a question.
Sure, John. Let's see. So we have the information. Myra?
Yes?
Okay, so we don't have you on video, but we have your audio. So do you want to just tell us anything?
Yes, well, we applied for this hood vent, I got
Yes.
everything approved. I'm basically waiting just for your approval on this hood. I
Right.
submitted some pictures of what it will look like, some pictures of other vents, of other businesses, so that's what it will look like.
Oh, so it's not coming out of the wall, it's coming out of the roof?
No.
Well, I don't know what you think it's best.
Oh, we have
here's
a-
options.
Yeah,
think
I submitted a couple of options, couple
I
of pictures with different, I can't get the why can't I get the camera going? See?
All right, well, this is slowly starting to coalesce.
I think for me, the issue. Oh, never mind.
No, wait, go Val.
The issue is that the drawing wasn't scaled, so we didn't really know what we were going to actually be looking. The drawing, the building is scaled, but the
Yeah, the hood.
right.
It's
So
not
it's
drawn in
hard
steel.
to
I
say.
submitted-
Option B looks like you'll hardly see it from the road, but in reality, I think it's going to be a lot higher.
I submitted the picture with all the measurements for the actual measurements for the actual hood that's gonna go on the roof or the wall.
With hood on wall, simple hood on roof. Oh, here are the measurements here, I believe. Are these the measurements here?
Yes.
Can you go back
So
to
it's 2 feet in diameter. 2 feet in diameter. Oh, wait, no, it's actually more than that.
No,
It's actually
more than that.
2.5 feet in diameter.
Ray, I have a comment.
Yes, John.
Looking at the drawings here, where they saw, it's, they're gonna, to put it on the wall is a heck of a lot cheaper than going through the roof because you're gonna destroy a whole lot of the inside roof and inside. This might be better if it's suitable size-wise. Put it on the side of the wall. You might see it from the road looking in on the angle, unless you want to go view it. But
Well, the road in question, I believe, is Old South Road, right?
Yes.
So this is on the back side.
right, but when you go by the road, you had a picture there with the door, and it shows this thing, the one on the roof. Can you go back to the one that was on the roof? Yeah. Thank
These
you.
are just examples, like photo examples.
Those are examples.
These are just examples. We don't know exactly, is it gonna do what this one, the meat and fish market is doing, you know what I mean? We just don't know because we don't know if there's gonna be an extra extension pipe or anything. And the point is, if that was scaled on the elevation, we'd get a better idea.
You see that one? That one right there, back up two. One more, there. On the angle, looking from there down the driveway coming in, you know, you might be able to see it. That's all I'm telling you. Maybe you should view it first, and maybe it's okay to have one. I don't know. If I put it anywhere, I'd want to see it on the wall, on the back side where you got it, on the other side of the chimney.
So you'd rather see it on the wall, John?
Okay.
Okay. But I do agree with Val that is it coming straight out of the wall or is it having one of those elbow pieces like we saw in the photograph?
It's gonna have one of those elbow pieces.
Did you say it is going to have one?
I think so. That's the way the only way they can have it facing up, like the one on also the fish market. They need an elbow, I think.
They did, yeah, definitely on the
Yes.
fish market.
I think
Makes
they
it,
need the elbow to be, so that thing is like sitting on the elbow.
It makes like a separate chimney is what it's doing. Instead of going through the roof, you're like creating a chimney that's hanging off the side of the building.
Right.
So
I'll make a
On the
motion to
south
approve.
side, do they have enough room to put it on the wall?
They have the room. Yeah, the people that they're going to do the installation, they came and they said that they can put it on the wall.
On the south side?
That would be facing the parking lot. I don't know what side that.
Yeah, that's the side that would be facing the parking lot.
Yes.
wait, so Diane, what do you think given that?
Well, I've seen one at the Meat and Fish. I've dealt with them being in the fish market for so long. If it's up high enough where it does not become a temptation for amusement, I think it's fine. I think that how they did it on Meat and Fish was good. I think the other one at the Nantucket Bakery on the roof and back was not bad either. You're not going to hide it completely.
No.
So I think
may I make a suggestion? I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, but because we don't have what's going there scaled, we may end up with something that's 8 feet, not, you know what I mean, with the extension.
No, I agree with you. I think we should get the numbers before we finalize this at all. I was just trying to come up with a location, but I think you're absolutely right.
Well, so Diane, well, actually, you said that the fish market example was a good one. That's coming out of the wall. Then you said that, was it the bake shop that had it coming out of the roof? And you said that's not so bad either. Well, so yeah, it keeps getting back to having
What's
this
going to be the
drawn.
least visible?
What?
But it's also how much how much they need. They may need one that's 3 times bigger than what we've been shown.
I think these are standard size, you know, because the one on the meat market looks exactly like the dimensions that we saw the dimensions of this thing.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but they don't cook restaurant food to sit down and eat at the fish market. Neither does the bake shop. However, the old food for here and there has a slightly larger one on
Yeah,
his.
that's not a good example.
oh,
No, that's why I was using it. That was turned out to be quite large. So I think at Val's thing of asking what, you know, what's the proposal? Is this the size? If we say yes, we'll pass it, then they've got to use this size.
okay. We haven't heard yet from Abby.
Well, I've been thinking though, am I on?
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Okay, so I think Val's right. We need a scale drawing, but I was thinking about side versus roof, and I think I'm going with roof because it's a chimney and you see things like this on the roofs. I think it's going to interfere with the side too much, too visual to be
I
on the
agree with
side. So
you.
I'd like to see a chimney on the roof in a scale drawing.
Okay. I'm in agreement on that. So let's see. Myra, where are you?
I couldn't get my camera to work. I'm sorry.
Okay, but so the message that's coming across fairly clearly is what you need to do is take your option B and have someone draw the chimney the way it's going to look on that option B to the scale of that drawing,
Okay.
just so that we can put paid to it. Yeah, I mean, it might look a little funny being right in that corner because none of these things are actually, none of your precedent photos show something right down in the corner like that, but we'll know when we see it. So could you do
Maybe
that
she
for
has
us?
to draw it both ways then.
Both ways, meaning wall and roof?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Myra?
So you want me to draw it on option A and option B?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said only 2 people wanted. I don't know. What do you think it's best? You think it's best on the roof or on the wall?
Well, it's hard.
The point was that it's in a corner that's very small. If it was further in on the roof, I think I'd like that better, but is that exactly where you want it, Myra?
Well, the thing is that the kitchen, the stove, and the fryer are right here against this wall over here. And so the hood has to go in the same direction, through the roof or through the wall.
So it can't go on the west side?
The vent.
Myra,
So the
Myra?
kitchen is over here in this area. Yes?
okay.
Yes?
Listen, I'm almost 100% positive that when you draw this to scale, you're going to find that you don't have enough roof there for it to come out of. That's such a small little corner and this thing is pretty big, that when you put that in that corner, you're going to be cutting out like the hipped roof in order to get it to fit, which you're not going to, like, you don't want to do that because your roof's going to collapse. So I think that you either have to move it further more towards the middle of the roof or accept that it's going to come out of the wall. But the only way to be able to tell that is to actually draw it.
Okay.
Okay? So,
All right.
I'll make a motion to hold for revisions with drawings.
Scale to scale.
Scale.
just okay. All right. So thank you, Abby, for that motion. Val,
I'm good with the motion.
Yeah, you just say aye.
Aye. Yeah.
Thank you. Abby,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
thank you. John? Very good, thank you. And chairs in favor, so motion carries unanimously. We'll see some drawings of the hood in the wall and the roof to scale next time. And Myra, thank you.
Okay, thank
And we'll
you.
talk to you soon.
Right,
Good night.
right.
Yes, John?
I have a comment.
Yes.
Tonight for Holly and Kadeem, thank you.
You
Oh.
are welcome.
Well,
Yeah,
yes.
thank
You're
you,
welcome.
guys.
I think that's a good comment, John. These are tough times and everybody's stepping up to the plate, so I really appreciate it. Well, folks, that was our old business agenda. We covered that. Now we have a couple of little housekeeping items. We want to do approve the minutes of April 27th. We do still have our complete regular board, so if somebody from the regular board wants to make that motion, I would.
So moved.
Yeah. All right, Abby's made a motion to approve those minutes. Abby, are you in favor of your motion?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Thank you. Diane?
Yes.
Val?
Aye.
And chairs in favor. Motion carries. Thank you.
Good
Okay,
job, Ray. Good job.
what?
Good job.
Oh, thanks.
Good job. Great
Well,
job.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank God.
So we have one other really easy thing. So our next meeting is actually on Tuesday, May 19th, next week, at 4:30. So we just wanted to make a note of that. Now, the only other thing that I wanted to discuss with you folks is that we have set aside times for our Zoom meeting for the month of June.
Look, say that
And
again.
we have, so I'm sure that you all got this. I'm not seeing myself up on the screen, but this is our agenda for the month of June. And I only want to say one thing about it, and that is this, that June has 5 Tuesdays in it. So ordinarily, as John knows, when we have 5 Tuesdays, that opens us up for our organizational meeting. Because of the way things are going, we're not really having to review a lot of applications. So I was wondering if we could earmark the meeting of June 30th for an organizational meeting that has one item on it in particular, which is an update from our historical commission. You might all remember the historical commission and our talks with them. And they have a few things that they would like to share with us as a board. So this is sort of a two-pronged question. One, do the members of our board feel that it's acceptable to use Tuesday, June 30th as organizational meeting night? That's part one of the question. And
When is it?
part two would be, if so, can we invite the historical commission to participate in that and give us a little presentation about what they've been up to?
Yes. I would make that motion.
Okay, well, thank you, Val, for making the motion. I do, however, want to hold the motion to see if there is any discussion, and I open this up to all the board members. Any comments, questions, etc. on that motion?
I talked to them the other day before you had your meeting,
Yes.
and she is intent on helping us putting together a program that will strengthen both committees, being that the Board of Selectmen feel that it's a trashy committee. And I think she's worked hard on the sidewalks, which was her next proposal. And I think it would behoove us to listen to what they have to say. I think we will find them to be good friends.
Thank you. I agree with that, Diane. Anyone else would care to opine on this?
Ray, I would, I guess my question, I of course support involvement and discussion. But more procedurally, I'm a little bit uncertain. And what I mean by that is this a presentation where they're going to present ideas of how they would be involved in strengthening historic preservation? Or is this a presentation on how the HTC will, similar to the last time, be changed or should be changed?
No.
Because
No.
Well, I want to be clear in my understanding,
Yeah,
because there's a difference, I believe, in how we respond individually and as a commission to the latter more so than the former. And if it's the latter, there's more discussion. And I think that type of discussion would be where we could have public comment. So that's why I asked the question.
Well, it's certainly a legitimate question, Stephen. But given the discussions that I've had so far with their commission, they're really interested. They have some opportunities for getting grant money and that sort of thing that they want to run past us. I would be really surprised and really disappointed if, they started talking about ways in which the HCC could change. I don't really think that's on the table.
That's not on their table at all.
Yeah. So,
not.
I'm happy that board, which was, defunct for a long time, is now actually back up and running. And I think that they could complement us really well. So really, I think that the nature of this, Stephen, would be for us as a board to listen to what they have to say and give feedback on it. That's simple.
Sounds good. Thank you for that. I guess my comment then on Vale's motion would be that it would be, we get a copy of the presentation in advance so that if we want to formulate our thoughts, we have an opportunity to do so. I think that that's important if we're going to have discussion.
That's a really, really great idea.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to be collaborative, it would be helpful. And again, I just want to underscore, I support their mission and what they're going to do. I just wanted to know so we were prepared for the proper forum. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else?
Thank you, Diane.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, if I just may
Yeah, Holly,
add in,
yes.
as staff, I feel like as preservation planner, first ever for the island, I feel like I'm staff for both commissions, and I appreciate being able to do that. And I think that this joint meeting will be a good collaboration between both commissions, and I think it's needed, not necessarily for both commissions, but also staff. I think it's going to be a unity thing. Also, hopefully by June's timeframe, I may have some more information on some of the initiatives that I've been working on within APC for camp, etc. So I just appreciate being able to have an opportunity for both commissions to come together. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks so much, Holly. I appreciate that.
It's about time.
Okay, so there is a motion on the table that was made by Diane. Diane, do you mind adding Stephen's language about getting some in advance materials from them that we can peruse before the meeting?
Okay.
Can that be part of your motion?
Just keep in mind, it's not supposed to be a meeting that's so formal. Not this first meeting. It was just to discuss things and see how we could all work together. But if they've got some suggestions, I wouldn't want them to cancel the meeting because they didn't have specific things to discuss. But I'm sure Hillary will come up with something good. So
Well,
I would
yeah,
add that to my motion.
Right. Okay, that's great then. So I'm going to, because we're now formally taking votes, I'm going to take votes from the regular members of the board. Abby?
I'm in favor of meeting with them.
Very good. Thank you. John?
What was your request again, please?
Just that we're gonna, that last meeting in June, which is June 30th, will be a meeting where we can invite the Historical Association to have a dialogue and also be able to do a presentation for us.
Yes, thank you.
Great. Thank you, John. Val?
Aye.
Very good. Diane?
Aye.
Thank you. And the chair is obviously in favor, so that motion carries unanimously.
I got through it again,
You got through it again.
another day.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll see
Motion
you all
to adjourn.
next Tuesday. Oh, who made the motion to adjourn?
Val, I think.
Val?
Yeah.
Was that you?
Yes.
All right. So there's a motion on the table by Val to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Hey, thanks, you guys.
Thanks, Ray.
Really appreciate
Thank
it.
Good night,
you.
everyone.
Night, everybody.
Yeah, good night.
Night.